Hello audiophiles, I'm Rosie O'Kelly and welcome to my channel. I'm very excited today because I'm creating a new playlist dedicated simply to, getting very detailed information on specific vintage pieces of audio gear with an eye towards finding what makes them great. That's right, every week I want to bring you a highlighted feature showing one piece of the equipment that I have in my vast collection here on the Rancho. One of the units that I think, it marks a very important point in the development of vintage audio. Not only because it's beautiful to look at, but also because there was some lightning in a bottle that was surrounding that. It was impossible to recreate. But for that moment in time, it made a glorious piece of audio gear. It might be an amplifier, a tube amplifier, a solid state amplifier. It could be a solid state receiver or a tube receiver. We shall see. There'll be a lot of them here. And every week we're going to highlight a specific unit. And instead of just talking about it and listening to some music, we're going to open up the case, we're going to pop the hood and take a look inside and see what really drives these units and makes them great. And I think that you're going to enjoy the experience. I want to backtrack a little bit and say the golden era of audio is long gone. Today we have digitally compressed music, meaning that because space is such a premium and storage is so revered in today's world when it comes to media, listening and visual media, most of the stuff that you hear today really bears no relationship. Well, it bears a relationship, but it's probably capturing about 70 to 80% of what you would hear in the studio if you were actually listening to a song being played by a band. I don't care whether it's a concert by a famous pianist such as Lang Lang, or something from the Boston Pops or the New York Philharmonic. It's a different experience when you're there in person, of course, as opposed to what you're listening to on digitized media, because digitized media wants to cut off the highest frequencies and it wants to cut off the lowest frequencies and give you a compressed listening experience, so you're leaving a lot on the studio floor. There was no such considerations in 1958 when the golden era of audio kicked off and probably ended in 1980. There were no considerations of digitized. The big struggles were getting broadcast stereo over the air. How do we take one radio station beaming a single dedicated station frequency and yet get a left and right channel out of it? Really vexing problems that captivated the industry for years. Digitization, computerization was years away. So everything went into creating the ultimate listening experience. Now, in creating that ultimate listening experience, some manufacturers and some individual units, such as this Sony STR7025, they ended up starting to move head and shoulders above the rest. The Fishers, the Pioneers, the Kenwoods, the Nikos. There were just the Marantzes, then the Scotts. There were so many that just started to stand out. The Harman Kardon. And they became legends in listening. And what we want to do in this playlist is get some of these individual units, set them up, talk about them, and really go down in depth of what makes them so unique and so nice when it comes to collectability. Because when it's all said and done, you can either go to the store, a Best Buy or your local audio shop, a Bose, and you can get yourself a piece of plastic that it's functional. Yeah, it sounds pretty good. It's got its LED lights, but I'll tell you, does it have the glamour of, say, a Sony with that beautiful silver face dial and all the lighting and just some of the romantic feel that makes it just such beautiful with the even a simulated wood grain case makes it amazing. So much of what is a audio listening experience is sensory too, and that's missing in today's world. It's absolutely gone. If you sit down in a chair and put your Sennheiser headphones on and you sit down to listen to music, you're not caring what the unit looks like that's playing at. But if you look at if you plug in your headphones to one of the old tube units, the amplifiers driving your music, you just get that sensory, that warm, fuzzy glow that comes from tubes. Or also comes even solid state by looking at a beautiful faceplate and lighting. You just feel like you're having the totality of the experience. So for every week I invite you to join me. We're going to be featuring one unit per week. We're not going to overload it, but we're going to take our time and really examine it. We're going to open up the cases, take a look inside. We're going to get the pointer out. We're going to go over some of the specs and really understand what makes these such nice units. And the beauty is a lot of these units are still very affordable today. And I'm going to do a separate video on my thoughts on buying the best vintage audio gear at the best price. Mainly with a goal of trying to identify things that could be sleepers that give you a great listening experience, and B, are beautiful to look at. They'll maintain their value and they'll grow in value. How about that? How's that for a beautiful double play? But thanks for being here today, and I invite you to be here next week. We're going to be, this week, we're going to be featuring the first unit here, the Sony STR7025 from the 1970s. And we're going to be getting down and dirty on this and understanding why these are beginning to be so prized by collectors in the marketplace today. I hope you will join me. If you enjoyed the idea of this video series, give me a thumbs up, leave a nice comment down below, and rate it. And if you don't mind, hit the share button so others can enjoy it too. Thanks so much for being along, everyone.